you invest in Marvel Rivals? Well, let's figure it out, man.
Okay, action. If you're trying to get it, ain't no living in the past.
So I'm going to start off with the cons. If you can hear, then you can look past all of these cons. By then, you probably know that this game is going to be for you. The first con, number one, first con. There is a drastic difference between playing with a controller. There is a drastic difference between playing with a controller and using keyboard and mouse. Now, to be honest, I spent a week using a controller and I spent a week using a mouse and keyboard, and there is a drastically noticeable difference between how good my aim was when I was using controller and how good my aim was when I was using mouse and keyboard. That, to me, definitely a con. This game specifically doesn't have as much aim assist, and it is challenging and fun, but I do think the difference shouldn't be so drastic. So to me, definitely a con. I'm a controller player. I don't want to use my mouse and keyboard. For this game, I have to use my mouse and keyboard. Definitely a con. Con number two. The general movement is just too slow. I think the game is good, especially when you're in the action. The pacing is good. I just think that the general movement, we're talking forward, backward, side to side, is too slow, especially when you're coming from a spawn point and going towards the objective. It's really noticeable in overtime situations, and that's where it bothers me the most. The general movement is slow because they know the aiming is a bit more challenging, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually a very smart way to balance out the game. However, if you get eliminated in a very close match and you respawn, you're like almost 10 seconds away from the action, and by the time you get back to the action, the match is over. I think that takes away from the game, and I do think that there should be like a movement buff or just a closer respawn when the game is in an overtime situation, or if you're just in a very tight match that hasn't reached an overtime situation yet, but both teams have like 80% of the objective. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. They need to do something to make it so that near the end of a match that's closely contested, there should be a way to get back into the action. It would make it a bit more chaotic in a good way. It would make more action-based victories versus, you know, one big fight, you get eliminated and now everybody's crawling back to the objective. Definitely a con. The next con, which I think is the biggest con, and it's the elephant in the room, of course, and it's in every game, it's not just in this game, the engagement optimized matchmaking, which is just a fancy term that they've pasted on skill-based matchmaking. The only reason why they changed the terminology around it is because engagement presents this idea that they're trying to keep the audience engaged, the consumer engaged, but ultimately it's just another tactic used to get you to spend more money in their store. Now, this game is free to play, so they do need to make money off the store. That's fine, I get it. I just don't agree with the idea of engagement optimized matchmaking or skill-based matchmaking outside of any ranked play game. This game, I've noticed it in both ranked and non-ranked play, and that's not cool to me. Here's an example of the engagement optimized matchmaking. Go to your history. So here, look, one victory, defeat, 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 5 defeats. Then below it, 1, 2, 3 victories. Okay, so without scrolling down, I can already see here 4 victories, 5 defeats. That ratio is almost a 1-to-1. You're just on the cusp there. Obviously evidence of engagement optimized matchmaking. For those of you who think that it's not there, well, you're chopped. Because now if we were to actually go into depth with these, check this out. In my last match, I got 28 bodies. 28 bodies? Come on. All right, cool. That's a good thing. I should be excited, right? Well, let's look below it. 6 bodies, 3 bodies, 0 bodies, 0 bodies, 2 bodies, 5 bodies. And I lost all 5 of these. Look how many bodies I got. I got less bodies in all 5 of these games combined than my victory. That is insane. That is obviously some sort of algorithm in the background dictating how I do, seeing that I did too well in these 3 games, 18, 27, 18. So now I got to go into these 5 games and get brought back to center. It's like, you can't be too good at the game. Now that you've done well, we've kept you in the game for long enough, you've spent some money at our store, now you get fed a couple losses. That's not cool. Like, look at this, 28 kills. So am I good at the game, or is it just an algorithm? Like, seriously, am I good at the game, or is it just an algorithm? I can't tell. I can't tell if I'm actually good at this game. How do I get 28 kills here, 6 kills here, 0 kills here? It's just too manipulative, and that's not cool. Definitely a con. Definitely a con. 0 bodies, The next con, casual play games are too short. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, well, that's so small. Why are you mad about that? It's not just because the casual games are too short. It's the especially part. Especially since I cannot play ranked with one of my boys if our ranks aren't close enough. That's not cool. So when you go into rank play, I'm gonna tell you a story. I went to play with my boy. We went into rank play. When you go into rank play, if the person you're playing with is not close enough to you in skill level, you cannot play with them. The game actually put a notice on my screen when me and my boy went to play together because he's ranked gold and I'm ranked bronze. It said that our difference in skill is too far apart for us to play together. Okay, that's fair for ranked play. But then if we do want to play together, we have to play the regular casual play. So basically, if I want a full length match, I gotta go ranked, but I can't play with my boy. And if I want to play with my boy, I gotta go casual and I don't get a full length match. Not cool. Definitely a con. Now, the next con, I think the battle pass. The battle pass just takes way too long to complete. A lot of people who play games are working people. You wanna play a game, you wanna kick back, relax, but you know, you invested money into this battle pass and you can't complete it because you gotta wait for tomorrow's challenges to get more chrono, or you gotta wait for next week's weekly challenges to get more chrono or chronos, whatever the fuck it's called, so that you can unlock the next level of your battle pass. That's not cool. People work hard. People spend a lot of time slaving away in this horrible economy that we live in. They don't want to have to come home now too and see that the thing that they invested money into is not allowing them to progress at the pace that they want to. I have a boy who worked full-time and he's a professional gamer. Imagine if he gets maximum 2 days off per week, best case scenario. Some days I know some weeks I know he's working probably 7 days a week. But let's say we get the best case scenario. He's got 2 days off per week. If he buys the battle pass and he decides to spend one of his days off playing for 18 hours, he should be able to complete that battle pass that day. Why not? He paid for it. It's his battle pass. But no, they want to keep you engaged, so they make it so that you have to come back tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the week after and the month after so that you can complete this battle pass. That's not cool. People should be able to complete it whenever they want to complete it. They paid for it. It's their money. Definitely a con. The next con, which kind of ties into the last one, non-luxury battle pass, luxury battle pass. I'm sorry, if I'm buying a battle pass, I should get everything that comes with the battle pass. I get that they gotta make their money and it's free to play, but they already have a fan base before this game was even created. It's a Marvel game. You don't need to do that to people. You don't need to chins them like that. Honestly, it's not cool. And that's definitely a con. Last but not least, I think this con ties into the last two that I just talked about, and that's the in-game currency. Why do we have 3 in-game currencies? I'm spending my real life money to buy lettuce, or lattice. I call it lettuce, but I'm spending my real life money to buy lattice. Then I gotta take that lattice, convert it to units, or convert it to whatever it's called. Bro, why am I buying Monopoly money to then buy oligopoly money with my Monopoly money? It doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, if I put my money down on this Monopoly money, that Monopoly money should just be able to buy whatever I need to in the game. I shouldn't have to convert to units to buy this and then convert to chrono or chronos to buy this. Like, at the end of the day, I should just be able to put my money into the game. My money is now fake money, and I should just be able to buy whatever with that lattice, with the lettuce. Like, bro, definitely a con. So now we're gonna get into the pros. There's probably a couple more cons with the game, but I'm not trying to be nitpicky. I'm trying to pick out the cons that I think are most detrimental to the game. So the first pro, which I think is the second biggest pro, it's not the biggest pro in my books, but the first pro is the game is free to play. Now that's obvious, but a free-to-play game is a free-to-play game. What's cool about this, and I think this is my next point, my next pro, is that you get access to all of the characters. So not only is the game free to play, but they're not expecting you to go to the store and buy certain characters, otherwise you won't be able to use them. So far, and I say so far because you can't trust nobody, so far they give you access to every single character that's in the game, and the store is solely cosmetic. There's no pay to win Call of Duty. There's no pay to win skins so far. Definitely a pro. Even if you're not a Marvel fan and you're someone who just likes hero shooters, you can definitely have a fun time with this game. It's not 100% balanced, but I don't think any video game is 100% balanced, but they've done a pretty good job of giving you a wide variety of characters with different abilities that allow you to have different playing styles. Overall, you just have a lot of different characters with different abilities. So if you like superhero anything, you'll love this game. And if you're a Marvel fan, you will especially like this game. The next pro is with time, as time goes on, you retain everything that you own in the game. So let's say this game 10 years from now has a whole bunch of new skins, but a bunch of new players too. They'll see older skins that they might not be able to get, but they see that you have them. They're like, wow, that's pretty sick. How did that guy get that skin? He's probably been playing the game for a long time. This actually adds to my next point about customizability within this game, which is also a pro. You can customize the controls for each character. Definitely a pro. The next pro is that there's a good amount of substance in this game. For example, there's a gallery. They present you these things that kind of look like comics. They also have a tournament mode. They also have something called a lore for each character. The amount of time that goes into something like that is pretty good. Definitely a pro. Last but not least, the biggest pro is the gameplay. If the game is free to play and it's garbage, well, that sucks. I still wouldn't play it, because even if it's free, it's garbage. The gameplay is actually fun. Aside from that issue I had with the general movement from your respawn to your objective, the gameplay is smooth. The character animations, even the way the characters speak, the different things they say, the way that they've shown the abilities, the illustration, the coloring, everything about this game is good. The hit registration is also smooth. It's just well put together. Definitely a pro. Now that I've listed the pros and the cons, or the cons and the pros, I'm now going to tell you my Sephaz rating. I was able to look past a lot of those cons because the pros are so worth it. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm going to give it a 7.8. I have my reasons for it. It might not be what you think. You might think it's better. You might think it's worse. I'm going to give it a 7.8. I'm a Marvel fan. I'm a huge Marvel fan, but overall, I don't generally like this style of game. I really like my first-person shooters. I think X Defiant is probably one of the best games to come out in the last 6 to 10 years. Obviously, I play Call of Duty, but Call of Duty, not so good anymore. So overall, I want to give credit where credit's due. If I was a fan of this style of play, I would give this game probably an 8.5. What does this mean? This means that if you like everything that I said in this video and the pros outweigh the cons, then you should definitely invest in this game, invest your time, invest your money if you want to, because it's a good game. I hope this was helpful. Again, 7.8. If you think that I missed anything in the pros or the cons, feel free to comment down below. Definitely drop a like, definitely subscribe. Also, overall, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and don't forget to keep it thugging.
Fresh fit, fitted on my hot end. Whole team all up in the field like a tight end. This is for my ladies in my right hand, working all day. Then we
Zero bodies.
Tell him pull a beat up. Turn a cold summer to a heat up. Always been humble, but the most high got me coming all up on my shell like Adidas. Shoe game hotter than fajitas. Suit game dripping by the leader.